All right. Here's my fantastic idea that I'm so protective of. The way I generally describe it is like Twitter for cars. And it's basically using license plates to send people text messages. There's a couple people that have tried something like this, but their execution is just awful. It just didn't have like a lot of ideas. Like it would be great, yes, if everybody was a member, and we know that. But how do you prime the pump? How do you get from here to there? So that's what I think I've got a bit of a twist. Well, one thing is, number one, if doing it this way, we get some nice press. So getting that first bump is really helpful. I mean, with the starter bus. Second, it's sort of I have this idea of sort of provocative. Some people may call it extortion. And I don't really know of any other apps that have had an element like this to compare it to. But I'll describe it like, basically, all the text messages will be out in the wild. It'll be open. So you can send a text message to somebody's license plate, even whether they're a member or not. And that will just be, that can be picked up by anybody. And by the way, I envision this sort of, I mean, it could have its own shortcode, but I think it just makes sense to do it through Twitter's API, and I've got a decent Twitter ID for this. I got like 7 months ago. I think I have a license or something. I don't know. And also, by the way, I have the URL textly.com, TXTLI, which I don't know how that was available, but both, whatever. So the format would be something like, D license space CA. The license plate, obviously, for the California, and then the message. And so the typical scenarios would be, there's going to be some people who can be like, you drive like an asshole or whatever, but I think for the most part, there's some really positive things that would happen, because like your lights are on, your car alarm's going off, your car's going to get towed, move, your car just got hit, move your car, you're blocking my driveway. I just fed your meter. I think that is where things get really interesting, is like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever fed somebody's meter, they saw it was out, but the problem with feeding somebody's meter is they don't know that it's fed, so that sort of defeats some of the value to them. And for a quarter, you can really make somebody's day, And then there's all kinds of tangential things that can happen, from, keeping track of who's done what, etc. People can meet each other. Obviously, there's sort of like dating implications, which is always a nice driver for adoption.
How do you monetize it?
So back to the extortion piece. I'm sorry, I kind of skipped over that. Yeah. So the point is, these texts are out there. So you can get the messages that sent to your car, but you can also sign up to get messages that are sent to license plates of your friends, or your teacher, or your priest, or whatever. And so now people kind of are forced to. You can't privatize your messages unless you join. That's the trick. So you have this people that are not involved at all. I mean, have this huge incentive to make sure that they claim their license. Otherwise, their messages are going to be out in the wild, which is, I don't know, does that make sense? It's sort of, you have to join or you're exposed. If you're a teenager and you have your dad's car or something like that, that kind of scenario, there's pressure to join, which is, it's like a weird viral thing. Anyway, the beautiful thing about it is it could literally be built in this bus ride. I mean, it's just that simple. That's why I think it's a good idea. Because it could be viral, it could actually, it's provocative, it could get big quickly, like Twitter, and it would take, we're just talking about tapping into the Twitter's API to do it. There's more. Yes, it could have certainly have a mobile phone app version, an iPhone version. You could have a web version. Seems sensible. You could even do things like you can take a photo of a plate and it turns it into the then you have all you have to do is write the text. You can get all kinds of fancy ideas, but the basic version through Twitter is obviously doable. And I mean, I'm not, it's easy for the product manager who doesn't know how to code, say, but I think it's pretty easy. Yeah, so I've got my, I think, very fair, yet maybe a tad complex and irregular ideas for equity sharing that I've thought through before, independent of this, that I'll talk about to people who are interested individually. But yeah. Oh, the other thing, I'm sorry, the other major piece is bumper stickers. That's another way to like sort of virally market it, is that make kind of a, you get a magnet or a bumper sticker, and it may be a way to get revenue. There'd be like a free one that kind of like sort of advertised the concept, and then there'd be like little cute ones like the black circle with the little phone in it that would go on next to your license plate, so people would know that you're a member, know that you're going to get the message. If that, so there's different scenarios. Priming the pump, the first part is the hardest part. I think money-wise, it would be nice to basically just find a community like in LA or something, and put the magnets just on like a couple thousand cars, and just see if it can catch on. People will get it. Anyway, I think I've got it out there. Oh, TextLite. It's called TextLite.